Okay, well, again, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening to learn more about the Nursing Accelerated Second Degree program that we're offering at UNLV School of Nursing. We're very excited. With me today, I have Dr. Jennifer Pfannes, who is the assistant professor and faculty in residence. Dr. Pfannes, do you want to say hello?
Good evening, everyone. This is Jennifer Pfannes, Assistant Professor in the School of Nursing. I'm also the program lead for this Accelerated Second Degree track, and I just want to thank you all for taking the time to come sit in on the information session, and I hope the information we present tonight will be informative to you and we'll be able to answer any questions you still might have about the program. So welcome.
Thank you. We also have with us our BSN director, Dr. Silvestri Elmore. Dr. Silvestri Elmore, if you want to say a little hello, you're welcome to.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Angela Silvestri Elmore. I'm pleased to be able to be here tonight to answer any questions that you may have. I can tell you that for this program, we have a wonderful team, and so I'm excited to be able to share more information with you. Thank you.
We also have our Associate Dean of Academics, Dr. Stephen Palazzo.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As the other panelists have said, we are very excited that you are here, and I think we have a great opportunity for you in this second degree accelerated program. And I'm happy that you're going to learn more about it, and you're going to answer any of the questions you have. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have our educational technologist to make sure everything runs smoothly. Ezra, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks everyone for joining. I'm really looking forward to learning everything there is to learn about the second bachelor accelerated degree.
And without further ado, we'll go ahead and dive right in. So I always like to start with our mission statement. This is what we truly try to live by. And so Nurse Leaders Begin Here is our mantra. Our mission is to educate nurses at the undergraduate and graduate levels to meet the healthcare needs in Nevada and beyond. The School of Nursing promotes, improves, and sustains human health through evidence-based education and advances in research and practice. Our bachelor's degree program has been accredited since 2008 and is accredited through 2024. Okay, so a little bit about this program. This program is going to be online. It's going to be mostly synchronous. So if you're not familiar with synchronous or asynchronous learning, in synchronous learning, you will be at the comfort of your own home. You'll be in front of a computer for specified days and times during your live lectures. And any courses that would be asynchronous would not have live virtual meetings on a regular basis, but you would have required assignments and due dates within your course. So that asynchronous learning allows a little more flexibility. I always joke around and say if you're a late night owl and you'd like to do your work at midnight, then asynchronous learning allows that type of learning. Our June 7th, or our summer 2021 start, is going to be a 59-week-long program from start to finish. It's going to be a modular format, and we'll go into that in a little more detail later on. But essentially, you're going to be doing one course at a time, which may be different from what you did in your first bachelor's degree, where you're taking anywhere from maybe taking 5 courses at a time for the semester. This one, you'll take one course for about 3 weeks, and then you'll move on to the next course. There are 2 required trips to campus, and we'll go over those also a little while. And we have 2 required virtual visits. So those visits include our contract signing. So about a week from when we notify applicants of their admissions, that will be their first visit. And during that contract signing, we'll go over uniforms, expectations, and some required documents that we'll need from you. Your other virtual visit is going to be orientation, and that will be the week of June 7th. So once we have our list of students for summer 2021, we'll have all the details and the meeting links available for you. And then just keep note that all times are going to be in Pacific Standard Time. So if anybody is in another time zone within the United States, just keep in mind that we will be operating on Pacific Standard Time. And Dr. Pfannes, did you want to add anything to this slide?
No, I don't think so. I think we'll cover the specifics as we move along.
Excellent. So I'll be going over the admissions requirements, and part of that are some required courses, which I know plenty of you have already had the opportunity to review. So on the left side of my screen, I have required courses for admissions. These are the courses that we are going to be basing your admissions, your calculation ranking for the program on. So we're looking for college algebra, we're looking for nutrition development across the lifespan. We're looking for anatomy and physiologies 1 and 2, microbiology, and statistics for health sciences. So any course that you see designated with the asterisk sign are courses that you must receive a grade of B or higher within 2 attempts. So if for some reason you have a B- in one of those courses, be prepared to take that course again. And then we do offer some equivalency courses, which you should have seen in the application packet. So for the statistics course, there's several other courses that we accept for that as well. On the right side of my screen, we have additional courses that may be required. These are courses that your admissions is not based on as far as the ranking and the point system, but we are looking to see that you have these courses already on your transcript. So I'm going to start from the bottom up, and we're looking for Introduction to Psychology, Introduction to Sociology, and then you'll see this PSC, which is our Poli-Science 101 Introduction to American Politics. So we'll look at your transcript to determine if you already have a U.S. Constitution course. And we'll also look to see that you have Nevada Constitution. Likely, if you didn't attend an NSHE institution, a Nevada State Higher Education institution, you won't have the Nevada Constitution 1 credit course, so you can expect to take that. But you may or may not already have the American Politics course. So we'll take a look for that and see if you require 1 credit or 4 credits to satisfy this graduation requirement. Okay, so we've gone over the courses that are required for admissions, and we've gone over the additional courses that, and those courses, the sociology, psychology, the stats, and then the Poli-Sci 101, those require a grade of C or better. We also require that you have a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution. That's really important to allow you to have transfer credit. And then we're looking for a minimum of a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale for your GPA. And then finally, we're looking for certification as a nursing assistant. And then you'll see my note about the minimum 42.29 points on the calculation worksheet. So over here, I've done a sample calculation with my imaginary student. So let's say that you have courses in progress. If you have courses in progress and you're enrolled in your last remaining prerequisites for spring 2021, you would be able to apply to the program so long as you meet all eligibility requirements. So those courses in progress, you would get attempt points in section 1. And you'll see, if it's your first attempt, you get 3 points. Your second attempt, you get 2 points. You want to go ahead and tally all those points, and you see that you have a possible 15. My imaginary student has 13 points in that section. Then in section 2, we're doing some more calculations. So based off of the grade that you got for any one of those courses, you're going to go ahead and put their numeric value under the grade column. And then you're going to go ahead across and you're going to do your math. If your course is in progress, you're likely not going to have a final grade by the time the application deadline approaches on March 8th. So for that grade, you're going to put 0 because you don't have a final grade yet. And then you're going to go ahead and do your science-based calculations. And my imaginary student ended up having 38.86 out of possible 40 points for that section. If you graduated from UNLV with a bachelor's degree, we are offering a half point for that. So my imaginary student did not, so they have 0 points. So then you want to go ahead and add up your sections 1, 2, and 3, and you'll see that my imaginary student has 51.86 points out of a possible 55.5 points. Again, you want to make sure that you have at least 42.29 points. If you have 42.28, if you have 42, if you have 41 or lower, those do not meet the point requirements. So just keep that in mind. Okay, and Dr. Pfannes, I'll let you go ahead and walk through the calendar.
So I'd like to just give you guys a brief overview of the calendar, which was already available to you or will be available to you in your admission packet as well. And I think going over this calendar briefly will answer a lot of the questions we have received about how the program is going to run and where and when the clinicals will take place in our program. And we'll talk a little bit more about the clinical sections a little bit later on in the presentation. So you'll see on the columns here, down the left-hand side, you'll see what weeks in the program it is. And then in the middle, it'll denote the course number and the course name, how many credits, and the dates that the courses will run. So you'll see that some of the courses are run over 2 weeks. Some of the courses are run over 3 weeks, and we may have one that runs over 4 weeks. And this is just based on the total number of credits that need to be presented during the course. If you take a look here at weeks 21 and 22, which are highlighted in yellow, this is our very first one of those on-campus intensives where you will come to campus, and this will be a hands-on skills-based learning experience that we're going to talk about a little bit more moving forward as well. You can also see in the calendar here little sections that are highlighted in blue, and those are actually break weeks. So those are time off in between some of the courses in the program. So here, if we look on the back end part of the schedule here, you'll start to notice, you'll see if we look weeks 31 to 33, you'll see that the course is split into 2, and this is where the clinical components come into play. So on the top line of each of these sections, you'll see the theory, and you'll see underneath that the corresponding clinical component. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the clinical moving forward and what that'll look like. But for purposes of the calendar, you can see that the clinical and the theory will run together during the dates that are listed on the right-hand side of the column. So if the theory has a clinical component, you will complete that at the same time that you are completing the theory before you move on to the next course in the calendar. So you can see all of the courses listed here, a couple more breaks, and then towards the bottom highlighted in yellow, this is the last 2 weeks of the program, which is another on-campus live intensive that we'll discuss more specifically here when we move on in the presentation. So here we go. So here are the 2 required trips to campus. So these are what we call our kind of boots on the ground intensives. So the very first one is during weeks 21 and 22. During this intensive, this is pretty much considered our fundamentals of nursing intensive. So during the time you're here, it'll be about 11 days of a mixture of learning fundamentals of nursing skills, physical assessment skills, simulation at our simulation center, and there will also be some in-hospital clinical rotation experiences during this intensive. During the second intensive, which is the last 2 weeks of the program, this is kind of a wrap up and progression to practice intensive. So you'll be taking some RN program exit exams, be doing some leadership management projects and presentations, and then also having a live review for the NCLEX licensure exam. So here when we start to discuss clinical rotations, we've received a lot of questions regarding clinical rotations. So our clinical model will run in a 1-to-1 preceptor model, which will occur at a facility within your home city. If you are here in Las Vegas, your clinical rotations will be at a facility here within town. If you are outside, then our student services coordinator will be working with facilities in which, within the city in which you live to arrange your clinicals. The School of Nursing here will be working to arrange all of your clinicals and your preceptors. That is not something that you will be required to do on your end. Again, the clinicals correspond with the appropriate theory on the schedule. Clinicals may occur on weekend days. So clinicals may occur Monday through Sunday, depending on the preceptor and the nurse's schedule. It also will, for some courses, it may entail working a 12-hour shift for those clinical hours. So here is a slide we wanted to present on really what your life as an accelerated BSN student may look like if you choose to attend this program. This is a rigorous program, and so the time commitment to get through this program is extensive. You can expect an 8 to 10 hour workday with synchronous learning opportunities, time to read, study, complete assignments, complete projects, and I would say almost approximately equal to a 60 to a 70-hour work week if we are including both didactic and clinical hours within the same week. Things to consider when you're considering our program is to really look at if you have childcare needs, that you have appropriate transportation to get to and from clinical. And then, of course, because this is a highly online program, it'll be important that you have a laptop or a computer with audio and a camera with stable internet connection. So it's a very busy, rigorous, and it's a full-time commitment to join this program.
And so we'll go over a little bit on how to apply for the summer 2021 entry term. You're going to need an application on file with the university for fall 2021 as a pre-nursing student. It's very important that you're selecting that pre-nursing major. That way, when your credits come in, we are looking at them based upon this program. You do need to submit official transcripts to UNLV's undergraduate admissions, so they do not come directly to us. They'll go to undergraduate admissions, and they'll let you know once credit has been applied to your My UNLV account. You're going to complete and submit the application packet, so you should have one already. If you need a copy of the packet, you can reach out to us and we can provide that for you. That packet's going to include a lot of information that we're going over today, so it's good to have that handy. It also will have that calendar available so you can kind of get a better idea of what your life will look like for 59 weeks once the program begins. We also need you to submit a copy of your CNA license. If you're going to be enrolled in a CNA program, you can submit proof of enrollment in the program at the time of applying, and then we'll need to show proof of licensure before the program begins. So if your CNA license is in progress and you're offered admissions, just know that it will be contingent upon receiving that final licensure. The deadline to apply is March 8th for the June or for the summer 2021 cohort. And admissions decisions will be made in about 3 to 5 business days, so it will move pretty quickly. We can also consider individuals who may not be a CNA or licensed as a CNA, but you may have other licensure in the health and medical field. So, for example, if you're an EMT, if you're an LPN, we can take a look at those. So we strongly encourage you to reach out to us so that we can have that deeper conversation with you and tell you what we would need you to provide. At a glance, what we're looking for is for you to provide a copy of that other licensure, as well as a checklist of the clinical skills that you completed in that program. And then we have a form for you to fill out. So definitely reach out to us if you do not have a CNA, but you do have other medical licensure. And then, so for tuition, we do recommend that you visit UNLV's cashiering tuition estimator. You can simply Google UNLV tuition estimator. We will be posting this recording on our website on our new prospective student page once it's live. Do you know that we operate on differential tuition? So that's an additional $156.75 per credit on top of your registration fees. And there may be other fees associated with the university. So I did go ahead and conduct a quick sample of what that calculation website will look like. So you'll see I have two versions. On my left side, I have a resident student, and on my right side, I have a non-resident student. My arrows in red indicate the areas that you want to make sure are filled out completely. So it's going to usually be defaulted already to undergraduate student, and for fall 2021, it's also going to be defaulted as a resident student. So if you're not a resident student, just make sure that you're going ahead and toggling that option. My arrows in yellow are really important because you want to make sure that whatever credits you're trying to calculate, they all match those criteria highlighted in yellow. So your total credits should match your online credits, and that ARC GRC Nurse 300 to 400 credits, that's where the differential calculation will be included. So make sure that those are listed. So I calculated 3 credits. And you'll see that the total ends up being $1,485.91 for a resident. And then on the non-resident side, I did the same calculations and same options, except my resident, I said that they're not a resident. And you'll notice that the fees are the same with the addition of the non-resident fee. And that non-resident fee is going to fluctuate depending on the amount of credits that you're trying to calculate. So you'll want to take the calendar that's in the application packet, and the way your tuition is going to be billed, it's going to be against the university calendar. So courses that have start dates between June and August will all be part of one tuition bill. Start dates in September to December are going to be another tuition bill. And then from January to the end of April is another tuition bill. So you can go ahead and look at the credits that reside in those breakdowns, and then you can do your calculation to get an idea of what your tuition and fees will be.